All right, put my Imperial scanners on.
Do it.
Do it. Ladies and gentlemen across the galaxy, this is your Grand Admiral Arnold speaking with a fantastic guest on the stream, Mr. Mobile Gamer, sketchiest scoundrel of all time. How we doing, my friend?
I have my glasses on now. You may now refer to me as the Mobile Gamer.
With that lovely introduction there, you probably know exactly what we're about to talk about. What we want to happen in 2020 in Galaxy of Heroes. And what's the best way to start out this video by talking about all the great stuff that's happened in 2019? All right, now in 2020, what...
Hey, Grievous got a second rework.
Yeah, honestly, Grievous' second rework, not the
Grand
first one.
Arena Championships is amazing. The legendary events have been extremely challenging, and I actually don't mind the difficulty level on all of these epic confrontation events. They've been tricky. I thought that the Malik one was fun. Just different. They were hard, and it was memorable, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, I think the Malik event in hindsight, I mean, it's a lot more challenging when you're trying to be the first one trying to help everyone else in the community beat the event. But when you replay it the second time, it was pretty cool to kind of now see, because I think the cool thing about the Malik event was that it wasn't like how all these other legendary events are, where they just have like 5,000% turn meter.
Way easier the second and fourth time I did it.
And I want to take what we've experienced this year, and I guess in the game overall, and kind of, we do this kind of it's a yearly tradition. Well, we get into the new year, what we want to see in Galaxy of Heroes change or to be added. And I think, honestly, the first thing I want to talk about can be seen right in my inbox. Mods. I think there's mod management needs another overhaul. Not just being able to sell mods on the spot right here, being able to upgrade them here in the inbox, sell them off if needed. Obviously, the easiest solution would be to just increase the mod cap. I think they said technically they can't do it for some reason. I don't know too much about that, but I think mod management needs a huge overhaul. Or when you're trying to level up mods, for example, it kind of gets a little annoying. Like, I want to find my level 1 mods. I don't want level 15 mods. I just want to be able to find my level 1 mods.
Oh, well, yeah, that would be very helpful too.
Yeah, and then plus when you level things up, it doesn't stay in the same place. It like jumps up. So if you want to slice, you got to re-find it and or re-find where you left off. Like, I don't know. It's just little things like that that'd be kind of nice if they added. Just some sort of mod management overhaul, more organization, better ways to sell mods quickly, and maybe just an increase in mod cap would be nice, because it seems like we're bound to see a new mod update in terms of, we saw the little hint, the purple gold mods. Yeah, so I'm not looking forward to that. So hopefully before they have to get those changes.
If that's your top thing, you know what my top thing is.
What's yours?
Never, ever have another 5-star epic confrontation character.
Yes, that's
using the get currency.
Yeah,
it's horrible. If that's the one thing that I hope for next year, without a doubt. I think we're both in agreement on that.
Yeah, I mean, see, the Malik thing we didn't care as much because there was Gear 11 versus Gear 12, and it wasn't that big of a difference. There was still a difference, but it wasn't that material. Now we had two big increases in our gear progression. We had, or actually maybe three. You had the Gear 12 finisher, Gear 13, and then weeks after that, all of a sudden, we get the relics. So the Gear 11 is no longer sustainable. I'd be fine, like keeping, keep epic confrontation characters on, but update it so you can bring Gear 11 characters under 7 stars to Gear 12 if you wanted to. And if you're maybe not Gear 13, Gear 12 versus Gear 13, the gap is still there, but not as significant as Gear 11 versus Gear 13. Like, Skywalker should be in like the hundreds of thousands in both health and protection, and his damage should be way higher. I think that was the main frustration. Not so much he was a horde character. I think it's just the fact that we need 6-stop mods on him. We need Gear 12 on him. That's the problem. That's another mod update, I guess.
For me, if they allowed Gear 12 and 6-stop mods on 6-star characters, that would even be a good compromise.
Yeah, keep it 5-star Gear 11, 6-star Gear 12, and then 7 stars, you get access to Gear 13 and relics. We're kind of talking about Rey and Kylo very briefly, which I think we can presume will make the Resistance and First Order better teams out there, especially since they're supposed to be pinnacles of legendary content in this game, apparently. What new characters and reworks do you want to see? Every year where you see lots of reworks. Reworks are my absolute favorite thing in the game, with Separatists obviously having a huge day and night difference in this game. The clone troopers as well. This is a great year for reworks for Separatists and the clone and the Galactic Republic. What reworks are just new characters in general are you hoping they add in this year or this upcoming year?
Well, they've mentioned this in devlog, so I'm not going to say anything that is new or unexpected, but basically the two things that I think are going to happen with 100% certainty, or I'm just going to lose my mind if it doesn't happen, is Mace Windu rework, and Jedi Luke, green lightsaber, black outfit.
Black
Luke.
outfit.
I can't imagine them not doing those two things. I'll throw a tantrum on the ground like a little kid if we don't get a Jedi Luke this year.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make any. It's like 5 years of playing this game or whatever. We're on year 5. Right?
I get their initial concerns where they didn't want to release him too early. He was too important of a character. If they added him, they were fearing that people would think it's the end of the game. I think we're kind of at that point where I think if they add Jedi Luke, we're not gonna be like, oh, okay, the game's done with. There's nothing else that can come out at this point. Baby Yoda, Mandalorian, IG-11, there's a lot of stuff they can pull, and I think this upcoming year in 2020, before around the arrival of season 2 of The Mandalorian, which Jon Favreau said is coming fall 2020. I would think we would see something Mandalorian-wise. Having Mandalorian with like a spawnable like Baby Yoda or something like that, kind of like as a minion that does like baby force moves. I think that'd be pretty awesome if there was something like that.
They don't have to go that far, but even putting IG-11 and Mando in the game would be fine.
That'd be really cool.
You know what I mean? It's just, why not?
Jawa legendary event.
Oh yeah, there's just so much. But first of all, I'm going to say that Mandalorian's the best thing that's happened to Star Wars since Revenge of the Sith.
Whew. Yeah, it's been a while since I thoroughly enjoyed Star Wars.
I did like the Clone Wars TV show very much.
Yeah. Rebels is okay too.
Rebels is okay too, but this is a step up.
Yeah.
You sense Revenge of the Sith, and if you didn't like Revenge of the Sith, then I'm going to say it's the best thing since Return of the Jedi.
And in terms of reworks, the two factions I'm also looking at, I think the Empire for sure needs some reworks.
I've seen your streams.
Oh my gosh, it's like I try to make my streams fun. I throw away so many wins because I try to let my Empire come out to play, and they just epically fail. Palpatine and Vader have only really been viable in this game because of the Sith tag. That's really been the primary force. Like last year when they were in early 22 when they were meta, it was because of Traya, Sign, and Nihilus just being so awesome. Yes, the Palpatine and Vader rework helped, but it really helped out the Sith. Not so much the Empire. Thrawn kind of hung out there. That's because Thrawn is Thrawn, but the rest of this is a pretty dead faction.
It seems to me that they're hanging on to some sort of event based off of Return of the Jedi, and the whole Endor Moon thing. With Scout Trooper. There's a ton of stuff they can do there.
Oh yeah.
They can do even Grandpa Rex. They can do a Han. They can do a Leia. They could add 2 more Ewoks. I'm sure there's more Ewoks they could put into the game. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff they can do if they just want to do a Return of the Jedi, and then have it all lead up to Jedi Luke.
Something like that. Yeah, they could do like have you just kind of go through all the movies and go to Endor and stuff like that, and maybe have Vader to fight off Luke Skywalker or something like that. And there's a lot of ways they can go about it, but I think the Rebellion and the Empire probably could use some help. The Clone Wars content, I think they're kind of up to par. Everything's useful for the most part, and it might be more useful when people start unlocking Kiadi Mundi. And then what else? The Old Republic's in a fine position. Bounty Hunters are all right. First Order and Resistance are probably going to get better soon. The blatant dead weight really seems to be Empire. And maybe, Rebels. I think it's just really Empire and Rebels are just maybe the ones that fell off. Maybe just the Empire at this point.
Yeah, just Empire. And then, there's, I think Royal Guard needs a rework for sure.
Big time, yeah.
And then, getting Scout Trooper would be logical.
For the Trooper faction, maybe.
Yeah, and I think there's some officer type things that were let's say, there's a lot of ships, that are Return of the Jedi that are not in the game, Empire ships. But, some of those commanders on the Death Star and things like that they're just generic minion type characters that can definitely be made into the game.
We know a new raid is coming. It's including ships. We think we have an idea what it's going to be. We could be completely wrong because almost every big thing in Star Wars involved ships, but there's obviously one battle that has ships that I think is the first thing that comes to our mind. And what's that?
Oh, the Death Star raid. I mean, it's just like, I mean, if you think about where Star Wars was founded, I mean, the Death Star raid in A New Hope is the single reason why I love Star Wars. Really, it is. I mean, I know that, you know, I had access to a laser disc and I had to have been, you know, a small child, you know, probably like 9 years old. I would just watch that Death Star raid over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I just like, I can't tell you, and you know, those big laser discs, so you know, this was so much fun. You know, and the movie had been out for a while when I was doing that, so it's just, you know, the movie had been out for like 10 years, and I was just watching it over and over and over again.
It's
like,
a magical, it's definitely, it's what made Star Wars Star Wars. That's where it all started from. I mean, all these other things are very important too, but if there wasn't that, if the first movie wasn't that iconic, it wasn't so groundbreaking, there wouldn't have been anything else probably after that, like we have today. I want more repeatable PvE, PvP content. And the one area of improvement, I think, is Galactic War. This has been largely an unused area. It's really only used for people who just want to kill some time or who are trying to knock out like those bounty hunter challenges to get the titles and stuff like that. Other than that, it's pretty much you go in, you sim, and it's the day over with. I miss when we did Galactic War videos and stuff like that. It'd be good if they reworked this. Endless horde mode or something like that. A guild sandbox mode, so everyone can kind of practice against each other. Or
I would just want to be able to have be able to challenge you in some sort of grand arena mode would be fantastic. I mean, I think your roster is above mine at this time, but that would be still fun to do.
Speaking of Grand Arena, I like that they're mixing things up. I don't know if a month-long or 3v3 is fun, but maybe keep Grand Arena interesting by introducing like a hybrid of things. Like you have your normal 5v5 battles, and over here you have a 3v3. Then over here you have a ships, and back here is like some wild card random bonus to a faction. So this might be like, let's say they give a bonus to Empire. You'd probably expect some fun Empire teams back here. Keeping Grand Arena interesting and keeping things mixed up. And they're not shy of doing it. They've done 3v3s, which is a very extreme change of the game because this game isn't really built around 3v3. So, but if they did ships, 3v3, 5v5, and a wild card bonus for that particular week for a random faction or a particular ability or a debuff or a buff, that'd be really cool if they kept Grand Arena interesting in that way.
Built into the game has always been the ability to bring a friend in on the campaign mode. Dual leadership again. Now I wonder how many of the kits would break if we had 2 leaders.
Yeah, 2 leader. Who knows? Yeah, I mean 3v3 is kind of broken.
It's technically
in some
a
ways.
Mechanic that's built into the game. I mean, it currently exists. Or even, you know, but I think that there probably with the new kits, there's probably some loops or way of breaking it. You know, with Jedi Bastila and JKR, who knows?
It'd be interesting to see. It's one of those things that'd be kind of interesting to see how it pans out. Whatever the case may be, I don't quite understand why we don't have a way for you to invite me to a battle. This is not a revolutionary concept. So many games out there have it where you can, 1, see a live recording of a battle, 2, be able to play against people that you want to fight, and 3, constantly having a game mode where you can just keep playing over and over again real time.
Even if I could like type in your ally code and play your defensive team, just like, you know, a one-off thing. I mean, this is not a thing. I mean, it doesn't have to be of any value to anybody. It's just I type in your code and I play against your team, and that is
there are plenty of games out there where there's plenty of PvE content, lots of real-time non-stop PvP content with no gates, the crystals, or anything to keep playing over and over again, and plenty of ways to directly play with your friends constantly to practice or just to have casual competitions.
Well, and there's a way of making a game mode that can be played for a long period of time where the rewards basically diminish very quickly. Like once you've played the game mode more than 20 minutes in a day,
they can find ways to diminish returns.
Playing it for like another hour doesn't help you much, but it does help somebody.
Yeah, it helps
a little bit. You know, but the first 20 minutes is all that really matters, and then after that, it's just backs off quite a bit.
Last thing I want to talk about today, we've seen a nice little push for trying to get things in a more linear path for new players, getting people up to date. The Journey Guide is a fantastic addition. Being able to just hop in there anytime to play the event. You don't have to wait every 3 months for an event to reoccur is fantastic. I think the Hyperdrive bundle is definitely an amazing deal for this game. It would have been nice they implemented something like that without having to spend $100. to catch up. Like I know Marvel Strike Force, they give out tons and tons and tons of free stuff for players, and I play the game and it's been helping me get a lot of free shards and gear and stuff like that. We haven't seen much of that.
I was skeptical of this this whole why they were doing it. Now it completely makes sense to be that they basically have the game organized in a way for a new player so that they can do whatever they want to do, and it's very simple, and it's you don't have to wait, and you don't have to memorize anything.
You know what the requirements are and everything. You know, it's nice.
And you could do it all in game without having going outside of the game and looking for a third-party source. And then also the $100 pack. What kind of crazy world am I saying $100 pack is a good deal? I don't understand that, but it is. If for what it is what it is. It's $100 still.
That gets into a whole philosophy and what's valued at what. I mean, for me, I find that to be more useful than $100 of Steam games that I'm never going to find time to play. This is a game if you play every day of your life for 4 years straight, $100 to catch up by 1 year might make sense to someone. I think it comes down to a whole value and what's $100 worth to you. Can you afford it? It is kind of crazy. We're kind of at the point where you can spend $100 on games on the spot. We're not going to get into that debate, but the point is, I hope Capital Games continues to make pushes and efforts to help free-to-play new players catch up, maybe drop the requirements from 5 stars to 3 stars. I don't know, just throwing ideas out there to help people kind of catch up, because a year progress bump from the Hyperdrive bundle is nice, and it kind of makes you feel like crap if you didn't buy it and you're a new player. We're looking forward to 2020. We know this game could be better. I don't think 2019 was probably the best year of all time for Galaxy of Heroes. I think the previous years were definitely better and more enjoyable, but there's a couple things to enjoy this year and a lot of things to look forward to in the new year. Any last words of hope, encouragement, enlightenment you want to give to this audience before we do another collab next year?
I gotta tell you, I'm really looking forward to all the new, creative, fun, innovative packs that they're going to sell to us especially at next Christmas time. I can't wait.
End the video right there.
Oh my god.
I literally Happy New Year, everybody.